Call Allah Imla, Alahai Now Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wa Malaki, Bahashem, Harawak, Kakurash, Barakathum, the water Baba Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily, and to the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine, I say you shall want. Today we're going to get into a couple of videos, whereas Pete Hegseth, he's pretty much in the hot seat right now because he ordered after they bombed the well, let me start over. They still shooting down so-called drug boats in the Caribbean, right? And they shot one of these boats, but there were 2 survivors. Pete Hegseth is in the hot seat because he put out an order saying kill the survivors, which constitutes a war crime all day. Now, in response to these allegations, Hegseth has thrown one of the admirals of a battle group under the bus. See, this is why it says never trust thine enemy in Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, for like iron rusted swords is weakness, because these people can't be trusted. And it's the same reason why a lot of Republicans are distancing themselves from Donald Trump, because they know he's gonna do the same thing. When he starts feeling that hot water, he's gonna start throwing people under the bus to save his own ass, like he has done in the past throughout his life. So a lot of people, and we told y'all this is gonna happen, they're gonna start distancing themselves because Trump is like this. These Republicans, they jump in ship because they know eventually this ship is going to start to sink. So they'd rather be way away from the boat when it starts sinking to avoid that undertow. You know, that current that pulls you under if you're too close to a sinking ship? Yeah, that's what they trying to save themselves from, because Trump, he is the undertow. He's going to grab on the closest leg to him to save his own life, without regards for yours. So let's get into the videos. But before we do that, let's read this copyright disclaimer. Let me go to it real quick. And we're going to start with this one. And the name of this video, let me see what it is. It's Evil Hegseth allegedly order war crime murders. Now, let's get this copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's get it.
The Washington Post reporting on Pete Hegseth has reached a new level of seriousness, and it deserves a clear fact-based look. All right, so what we are talking about is not political drama. This is about whether decisions made by the Secretary of Defense, a position responsible for the entire U.S. military, may have crossed the line under both the U.S. and international law. The Post confirms that senators from both parties have begun raising questions quietly, but directly about whether certain actions taken under Hegseth's watch could rise to the level of war crimes. That is not a word any senator uses lightly, by the way, okay? And when you have Republicans and Democrats asking the same questions, it means the issue goes far beyond politics, okay? And at the center of this scrutiny are 2 key incidents. First, the strike on suspected drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean. Survivors of said strikes say they were targeted after they surrendered, which, if true, would be a direct violation of the law of armed conflict, okay? And according to the Post report...
Yep, that violates the rules of engagement. If they are surrendering, you're supposed to take prisoners of war. You're not supposed to murder them. But see, once again, Amalek and Esau, the small hats in the United States, they love murder. And that's just what it is. And they will validate their murders. They will lie on you. They will demonize you. They will justify their so-called murders, which means that they feel nothing behind this. It's cool, though, because the Lord going to make them feel it. They got innocent blood on their hands, this whole government.
Reporting, there are allegations that Hegseth ordered in that moment, and I'm going to quote this, okay? Kill them all. Not paraphrasing. I'm going to say that quote again. I think it's important. Kill them all.
Now, does that sound like it was an order based out of emotion? Yes, because Esau is an emotional dude. This man been in his fields for over 2,000 years. And this thing right here, he's got what you could compare to being a short man complex. He got to prove himself to everybody because he knows who he is. He knows he ain't shit. Now, let me ask you this. Would a confident man walk around announcing he's superior every 5 minutes? No. Everybody would know. So Esau is trying to fill some kind of void that he cannot fill. He wants to be us, but he's not us. He's the wicked, and the wicked shall do wickedly. Let's keep rolling.
They don't have guns in their hands, by the way. They're clinging on to a burning hot boat in the middle of the ocean, basically just trying to stay alive. And kill them all. That phrase alone has sent the military legal experts and the Senate staff into super high alert. All right, because those 4 words are not just aggressive, they imply a disregard for the most basic laws governing the use of force. And let's be very clear.
Has not the police been violating the use of force, basic laws governing the use of force since pretty much slave patrol? Yes. And nothing's been done about it. So we don't expect anything to be done about this. They're going to let Esau get away with murder until the Lord calls these other nations to send missiles and destroy this place. That's the only way you're going to make Esau stop, because he's stuck on stupid right now. He got too much to prove. He in his fields, and he's in a position that he's never been in before, which is the world questioning his every move, the world questioning all his words, all his lies. So this man is highly unstable and very dangerous, because a desperate man is a dangerous man. Esau is very desperate. You got to be desperate to listen to idiots over in our land, because that's who running the whole shit. The tiny tops. You got to be a fucking idiot to think that they are providing you with wise counsel. No, they leading you right into them chains. And we're going to let them continue to do it.
Isn't about opinion. This is about the rules of war. Rules our country helped write. Rules that every single U.S. service member is trained on from day one. Rules that exist to prevent exactly this kind of scenario.
But one thing these soldiers didn't train on, that's how to stick to the rules of engagement and excuse emotion, especially the Edomite soldier. The Edomite soldier is overflowing with emotion. He just wants to shoot people. He doesn't care why. That's the danger of having Edomites as part of your police force, as part of your military, because these people are very unhinged, emotional human beings who think the rules doesn't apply to them, as you can see in this situation.
If the Secretary of Defense issues an order that ignored those rules, that is something the Senate is obligated to examine. Now, the second issue is separate but related, okay? Hegseth's use of the encrypted app Signal, we all know about that, right? To share operational details pulled from, a message labeled secret, I think it was no phone, Yeah, no foreign. That label means it is not to be shared with anyone outside the US government, and sometimes not even outside a specific agency. Okay, so when those details end up in a private chat, it raises, obvious questions about handling of classified information, chain of command, and obviously accountability. So senators from both parties have asked for answers on that as well. And when you put these two incidents together, it is really, easy to understand why senators are now, having active bipartisan discussions about whether a formal war crimes review is needed. I'm not saying that he's guilty, okay, but it does mean that the questions are serious enough that they really can't be ignored. And when the Washington Post confirms that these discussions are in fact happening and backs it with, sourced with sources and documentation, it means the country needs to pay attention. We should also acknowledge the obvious here, okay? It is extremely, extremely rare for members of the Senate to even, enter this territory with a sitting Secretary of Defense. That tells you how unusual these circumstances are. And if anybody ever needed a reminder that oversight still matters in this country, this is unfortunately it. Even in a moment of partisan divide, there are still lines everyone agrees cannot be crossed. And if what is being said is true, he 100% crossed those lines. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment.
Now let's see what's gonna happen to him though. They ain't gonna do shit. Hold up, this ain't what I want. Now let's go to this one. The name of this video is Hegseth lied, committed war crimes. Lieutenant Ted Lieu press conference.
I also want to add my sincere condolences to the family of Sarah Beckstrom, the National Guard soldier senselessly killed last week. And I also pray that Andrew Wolf, the other National Guard soldier fighting for his life, pulls through. As Chairman Aguilar has said, we have an affordability crisis. That's one reason Donald Trump is polling at the lowest level ever for a modern day president at this point in a term. Only 36% approval, over 60% disapproval. And for folks who shopped on Black Friday, last Friday, according to Salesforce, average prices across all products increased 7%. And then specifically for household goods, prices increased 24%. Things like furniture, appliances, dining, and decor all skyrocketed. And what is Donald Trump doing? He wants to make sure his Great Gatsby ballroom is as big as it can be. Trump and his rubber stamp Republicans are not focusing on the affordability crisis. And now we have healthcare costs skyrocketing. And if we don't extend ACA tax credits, it's going to mean that millions of Americans are either going to lose health insurance or pay a lot more for the healthcare premiums. Now I'd like to talk about war crimes. Last week, Secretary Hegseth lied and denied media reports that the U.S. military ordered a second strike on defenseless shipwrecked survivors. Then yesterday, both the White House and Hegseth said actually it was Admiral Bradley who ordered the second strike.
See that? So if Admiral Bradley ordered the strike, where did they get his quote from? Where they stated that he said kill them all. See?
Served on active duty as a JAG for 4 years and then additional 21 years in the reserves. And let me be very clear, killing shipwreck survivors is a war crime. The Pentagon's own Department of Defense law manual on the law of war literally says that, quote, orders to fire upon the shipwrecked would be clearly illegal. The Department of Justice must conduct an investigation into the war crime and hold all those accountable, including Secretary Hegseth. He allegedly said, quote, kill them all. If the Trump administration does not hold the people accountable, I guarantee you a future administration will do so, because there is no statute of limitations for war crimes. And now I have a message for the members of the United States military. Thank you for your service to our great nation. And for those of us who served, we know that we all followed a code of conduct. And part of that code of conduct is to not lie and to accept responsibility. Unfortunately, the head of of the Department of Defense, Secretary Hegseth, engaged in dishonorable conduct. He stated on national TV, quote, "I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat." And instead of accepting responsibility for what happened, Hegseth chose to throw Admiral Bradley under the bus. Shame on Pete Hegseth. He is a coward. He must resign. You deserve better. I find it really funny Republicans are making an argument about Black Friday setting records. The reason it set records is because prices increased. That's why, because people are paying more and getting less. And that's why you see consumer sentiment surveys that shows that consumer sentiment has been rapidly dropping. Polls after polls show that American people know that affordability is a crisis and they want Trump and Republicans to do something about it instead of focus on stupid things.
Truth hurts the ouch, right? All right, let's get some scripts. Let's start off in the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Now let's go back to the first part of that scripture where it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. You got a lying-ass president, you're going to have a lying-ass secretary of defense, obviously. And everybody else under Trump's little wing, his flunkies, they have been caught in countless lies. MAGA. They so scared to deal with reality, they don't know what to do. Now let's go to Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, because the faces of the judges thereof is not where and who is he? The earth was literally given to the hand of the wicked, called law and law. How now Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, 441. That's why no rules of engagement are being followed at all. I just want you to know that, because if they were being followed, you wouldn't have a genocide going on in Israel right now. You wouldn't have them bombing boats that they don't know who it is. How could they? They don't know what those boats are carrying. They don't know who these people are. How can they? Your technology ain't like that. Keep rolling. Job chapter 30, verse 8. They were children of fools, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. A base man runs on about 98% emotion, 2% logic, if that, and that's just, I'm being generous. So you see where emotion, once again, the dangers of emotion is going to get these Edomites 1,000 years of captivity. Let's go to Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of man. Who the base man? Esau. Just an emotional wreck. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will they not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will they deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. That's very unjust, because they are violating all kind of war, they are committing war crimes and violating all kind of rules of engagement. So sooner or later, these other nations are gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, man. Let's just blow their ass off the map. That's the only way to make them sit down, which is prophecy. They're gonna piss off the other nations to the point they throw their hands up in the air, nuke them. It's the only way to make their pale ass sit down somewhere. And it's prophecy. And you notice they don't hesitate to murder the brown people. They don't. And that goes back to Psalm chapter 37, verse 32. The wicked watches the righteous and seeketh to slay him, even if they got to lie on you. That's how bad they want to satisfy that bloodlust that they have. Psalm chapter 73. Verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a garment. Violence covers them as salaki. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covers them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart could wish. Why are they down in Venezuela in the first place? For that oil. Their eyes stand out with fatness, greed. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Like committing murder ain't nothing. Okay, keep that same energy. Because the Lord is going to put the 144,000 on you and your family members. And we're going to see if you still got that same energy about murder. That's what it's going to take for you Edomites to realize how wicked you really are. You're going to have to feel what it's like to have your child snatched from your arms and sold to other nations and never seeing that child again. You're going to have to feel that. Then you're going to see how wicked you were. When 144,000 just start running through y'all asses like a hot knife through butter, then you're going to see how wicked you were. Right now, you don't see it. Your cognitive distance is all the way up on 10 as far as you acknowledging your wickedness. So when it is done to you, you will have a reflection of your own wickedness. Because the Bible said it is a recompense that will return upon your own head. Roughly paraphrasing Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15. So that's the only way to make you realize how wicked you really were. The same thing you have done, it will be done unto thee double. And by that time, it's going to be too late because your ass is going to already be in chains. That's how the Lord works. He ain't going to tell you nothing. He's just going to make you feel it. Go to Isaiah chapter 59. Now, this section is originally talking about 2/3 of Israelites, but you can easily apply it to Esau because why? This is where the 2/3 got this behavior from. Edom. We can start at verse 4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleader for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity. Verse 6. Their web shall not become shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence, there it is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Kill them all. Yeah, Hegseth. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. Everywhere they go, what follows? Death, violence, destruction, murder, theft, rape, pillage, the whole shit. But you're not the embodiment of wickedness. Verse 8, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whoso goeth therein shall not know peace. That's why Venezuela catching hell right now, because they got something that these thieves want. It's not a military, it's just a band of thieves following orders from thieves. But yet they parade themselves like they the greatest this world has ever seen. You're the greatest thief. You're not the greatest military. Because guess what? Not even the greatest military can take on 100+ BRICS nations at the same time. And then you are severely undermanned. James 1:8, double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Esau is very double-minded. This man can't even remember his own lies. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 5. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongues to speak lies and weary themselves to commit iniquity. That means they're going above and beyond to commit the wickedness. Just like they're going above and beyond to try to lie and demonize us with AI. Come on, man. Y'all that desperate to lie on us using AI? Y'all some sad souls, man. Y'all a sad-ass nation, Esau. But that's all right, though. It's going to hit you how sad your nation is when you go in them chains, because you're going to realize what you are being punished for. And the funny part about it, the whole world knows you lying on us. The whole world is on our side. And this is what's going on in the spirit spiritually. The vibration going out in the earth is that every time Esau lies on us, the whole world gonna know off the rip that he's lying. Because look how many lies he's been caught in since Trump been in office. I mean, just an absurd number of lies, but yet this man still got a job and his constituents. But see, you got to blame yourself, America, for allowing this shit. So you deserve whatever these people do to you. Y'all could have had Trump in jail a long time ago. He wouldn't even had a second term, because he would have went to jail straight from the White House during his first term. But y'all swept it under the rug. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Now you got a monster on your hand that you can't put back in the cage. This is what happens when you don't deal with reality. Like, I'm looking for a scripture, y'all. Hold on, bear with me. All right, this is Daniel, book of Daniel, chapter 11. And the name of this section is Conflicts to Come. Hold on, what is it? It's 20. Okay, it's lucky. Okay, here we go. And this right here should tell you how to recognize unwise kings who are unfit to rule. Start 27. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper. For yet the end shall be at the time appointed, The Lord got all this mapped out. When America gonna be destroyed, when Esau going into chains, when the Lord is going to unleash 144,000. All of this has a set time to it. That's why we tell you it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Let's get that one right there. That's how you recognize unfit rulers, when they just can't stop lying. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet appointed for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. It's not a matter if, it's a matter when. Get this one. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't whoop a child's ass. You get a Donald Trump. Can't tell the truth to save his life. This is Psalm chapter 12, verse 8. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. Now picture that. You got one man in the middle, and you got a bunch of men surrounding him. The wicked walk on every side. Those are the men surrounding him. That would be his administration. When the vilest men are exalted, who's exalted? Trump. He's in the middle. And that goes back to Sirach chapter 10, verse 2. What manner the ruler of the city is, so are his officers. Yeah. Go to Proverbs. Chapter 17. That ain't what I was looking for. Oh, let's go 16. Let's go here. Oh, sorry. This is Psalms chapter 55. We start at verse 20. And this right here describes the situation between the United States and Venezuela, because Venezuelans ain't did nothing to Trump or this country. But check this out. Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Who else has Trump broken covenants with? How about all our allies? Canada, Mexico, uh, Denmark, Greenland, even pissed off the Irish. How you do that? Froward man. Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. See, he talk all that nice shit, but at the same time, he's still pulling his gun out. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. We can sign the papers. Uh-huh. Bow. That's how Esau get down. Go to Habakkuk. Chapter 2. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, all the way down there in Venezuela. Who enlarges his desire is hell. We want that oil. And this is death and cannot be satisfied. We want all the oil. But gather unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. Verse 8, listen to this. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, spoil mean to rob. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood. Remember those fishermen in those boats? And for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to them that covetous, and evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. That's not going to happen. Verse 12, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establishes a city by iniquity. Now, this is the thing that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge, or it's probably going right over their heads. When the United States labels a group of people refugees or migrants coming to America for a better life, they regret to tell you that the reason they are coming here for a better life is because the United States done fucked up their home country. They don't talk about that, though. Book of John, chapter 10, verse 10, red letter Lord Yahweh Shai speaking. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and they might have it more abundantly. So the Lord wasn't coming back to put Esau in chains and to judge him. Esau kill everybody and everything on the planet. If it was up to you Christians, Esau would never get judged because you're too busy swinging on his nuts. You're coming at us for calling out all the wickedness he's done, but you say nothing to him about actually committing the wickedness to this day still. That's why we cuss y'all out. Because you're sottish children. Sottish means stupid. And I got another thing for you Christians. Hold up. Anybody who believes, where is it? See if I can find it. Anybody who believes this image, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, my phone probably too bright. Let me see if it's gonna adjust. It's not gonna adjust. But I can tell you what's on it. You see right there? Let me explain it to you. Those are feet burned in the furnace, right? Those are his hands. And you know what is at the top? A white face. This is what you Christians believe. And then you wonder why we call you stupid. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'll probably do a video on it. Yeah. It's a man with dark-skinned feet, dark-skinned hands, and a white face. This is what y'all believe. That's why we call y'all crazy. Because you don't believe in the Bible. You don't. We'll read it to you. And you'll still say we lying. Let's get a few more clothes. Let's go Jeremiah chapter 50. Verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? This is a future prophecy. The Lord is mocking America after he destroys it. I have laid a snare for thee, O thou, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord hath opened up his armory and have brought forth weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua of hosts, the land of the Chaldees. And this is when he finna put these other nations on America, shoot missiles, shoot everything you got. Verse 29, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she has done, do unto her. For she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. This is what the Lord has planned for America in the very near future. Okay. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6. Verse 16, these 6 things that the Lord hate, yet 7 are an abomination unto him. Proud look, lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. A lot of these wicked Edomites, they're walking abominations because they are guilty of all 3 plus some. That's why it says 7 are an abomination unto him. 7 means completion. That means you are completely wicked. A heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speak lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. This administration is guilty of all that. Second Peter chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Y'all ain't got away with nothing. Go to Nahum chapter 1. Verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He ain't gonna quit the wicked, baby. You ain't getting off. You ain't getting away. Now let's go to Isaiah 24. And this is going to tell you what the Lord has planned for the elites. And this is starting off right after the missiles are being shot off and America's being destroyed. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered into the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days shall they be visited. That's what the Lord got for you, you elites. You're going in chains. Obadiah chapter 1. Verse 15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Verse 18, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, in the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. Don't get it twisted. Y'all gonna be exterminated after your 1,000 years of slavery. So you're still not getting away with nothing. So keep on being the little hell raisers that you are. You only got but a short time left. It's like we said, with every rising and setting sun, you draw nigh to captivity. Call Layim Lala, Hayanaw Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Amashiach, Wa Malakia, Bahashem Harawat, Wakakorash, Barakathum, the water Bible, Bawa Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.